Hi, my boys. Today is I didn't want to do the video. It's lagging it. It's the 23rd. It's November 23rd. Today's Thanksgiving. You're watching this video. I'm no longer alive. But I do want you to look up Haley's Comet. Haley's Comet and the April 8th. There's an eclipse. The solar eclipse happening again. So as you go to that, I think if you listen to those numbers, you'll understand what I'm talking to you about the numbers. Haley's Comet. The next time, July 28th, 2061 is the next time that it will return. So that is something to look out for. Currently, Haley's Comet is in outer reach of our solar system beyond the orbit of Neptune. It is... Oh, Poseidon. Earthquakes. Hermes told me yesterday about the earthquakes and then about Apollo. That is something that's going to play in now. So this government, this court system that I have to deal with right now, man, they're evil people. Like, I'll show you right now. It's crazy to think that. Okay, yesterday I was in the mall. Yesterday I was in the mall with my mom. I'm trying to... You know how narcissists are? They fight and then they act like nothing happened, but deep down they're like really pissed at you. Well, that's how I am with my mom. Every time I'm with my mom, I want to die. I just don't want to be there. That's why I got married in high school, because it got so bad. Where's it? Oh, here's the video. 22nd, 2020. Today is November 22nd, 2023, and oh my gosh, I'm at the Westminster Mall and I saw Miguel, your godfather, and his wife. Miguel Escamilla and Berenice Escamilla. Wow, must be nice. There's Sienna. Alright, boys, see you boys in a bit. See, isn't that sad? The spirits, today is like a sacred day for me. And I'm gonna see you guys in a bit. I asked, and I have pictures. I took some pictures, so proof, you know, but I didn't say shit. I didn't do anything. I didn't even go to the store or anything, because I asked to let me see all the witches that were doing that. So my mom burnt something. That she was told to. I don't know why, because I was talking to him, Michael. So that's how that works. That's how the spirit of the dead works. And this is my sister when she got married. And then this girl, let's see if I can find it now. Oh, okay, this is how it works too. Like, I'll show you. Like Britney Spears is doing magic. She's doing witchcraft. And that's Taylor Street. That's how I know that she's been doing this, because that's how someone set her up. So when that's how it's confusing, very confusing with Michael Jackson, because that relates to what my mom gave to my Aunt Bonnie, or to her friend Bonnie, was the Ben. I think it was a Ben song. They want me to bring that up. Oh, and then anyways, I'm in the mall doing some magic stuff with the mirrors and stuff, the photo stuff. A lot of dead people there, a lot of dead spirits there. And what else? Okay. So the people from high school, I found some. Now I don't go on pages and snoop around, like it's just not me. I don't have time. I just don't. This girl was responsible for Vanessa Charismata. I don't know. Camasta. Matt Aguilar. And then there's also Matt Kraby. Oh, I don't even have his thing. Now, that's tricky. That Kraby one, I don't have a picture of him thing. The computer or my phone was acting, it wanted to act up on me. But I have another one. That's something right there. And then I got my ex-husband, Frank Radica, and Sarah Grimling. And then Katie Krause. She did magic on me. She did magic on me. How do I know? I'm right above her. So whoever, like the yearbooks, that's why I hate yearbooks. So my yearbook had a lot of shit in it. And what was mean is that, like, that's how I knew people were fake, because after, like, when school's out, they'll get your yearbook and then they'll write whatever they want on it, thinking that no one's gonna find out. It's permanent marker, and I'm not gonna, like, there's some things I scratched out that I just didn't want to see anymore. It was just, no, come on. But I did some numbers on my yearbook right after school. When I got the yearbook, I did numbers, permanent markers. I numbered these kids, and I'm like, I know I'm going to forget. I'm just going to use numbers. And I used numbers. I'm so grateful I used numbers, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't really know them. I just knew that they were assholes doing something to me. I'm so grateful I used numbers. And now I lost the book, but the book got towed from the car. But I do know it helped me with those numbers, because what's that girl's name now? She was in cheer. All of them, most of them were in cheer and song. And she got married, or her sister or cousin or somebody got married to Lauren Tapia's brother's friend in that family. So they were using heavy witchcraft on me. And then this girl, Jeanette, the girl that's blurry face, I don't know if you can see that. When I see, because my ancestor said pictures, my grandma hated her. I see a hummingbird. My grandma hated her, and the fact that she was using witchcraft to hurt and kill. That's what they're doing, hurt and kill. That's karma on them. I just returned to sender times Google. I did it because it needs to stop. This needs to stop. All those people that I just showed you, they're involved in witchcraft, in child pedophile ring. The underground, it's underground. Everything is underground. Okay, I am also connected to Bo Smart. Bo Smart went out with J-Lo. And when he went out with J-Lo, I don't think Scientology, This is how I know Scientology is fucking... They're like a league of their own here. Which I come... Like, they're harassing me nonstop. They're in the city. They're in the government. They're judges, lawyers, doctors, teachers. I have my ancestors. So when I saw Jamie Bishorner's pictures, I knew right away someone took a picture, like they did a selfie, and someone's like doing their arm thing like that, and that person's eyes told me they got her. They're using her as a puppet, so they're going to make her fat. So these people that like they really don't like, they're making them fat, because that's what they were doing to me when I was pregnant. Holy crap, did that work? And I kept saying like, why, like, I'm happy the way I am. I'm like happy. Like, for the first time I felt kind of comfortable in my skin. But then I was hearing people like talk behind my back, and that was like making me like go back into childhood mode. And then I'm like, oh, I have to do all this whole thing again. But then I realized why I was doing it for, and that was Mother Earth, which our ancestors called her Grandmother Earth, and I called the moon Grandmother Moon. And me calling Mother Earth instead of Grandmother Earth, she's like, I get the feel of like I make her feel a kid again. So in a way, it's like a celebration and honor. And yeah, today's Thanksgiving. I don't even have my kids with me, and I don't have you boys with me. And when you see this, I'd be dead. And it wouldn't even matter. These people wouldn't even matter. Like the railroad, our ancestors died because of this railroad. Oh, look at my little Santa Ana. Look at... I just have pictures looking back, and my ancestors telling me where to go and how to do this stuff. So my boys, if you go back to Westminster, California, you'll see all the corruption and what happened. They made all the schools look like jails and prison. And then if you go to the hospitals, they make it the same thing. You go to the behavioral health centers, it's the same thing. You go to prison, it's the same thing. If you go to jail, it's the same thing. If you go to the doctors, it's the same thing. Hermes tricked me by, because he said if I knew, I would have never, if I knew this outcome of me, I would have never had kids. That hurts me. He's right. He's absolutely right. If I would have known all this, certain people get certain things because they have to be the light for others. So, like I said, I was sending out SOS wavelengths long ago, and I knew about this MK Ultra stuff way before. So now, like, these people that have done this witchcraft shit on me, like this Katie girl, I don't think she knows that she put her boyfriend under a spell too. I have no idea if they changed the Westminster Mall either. 2004 Westminster Mall. Order 502. I've got a jalapeno cheese pretzel. So that's what it is. I was eating my pretzel the whole time, watching Miguel Escamilla and his wife Berenice and his daughter. I have her in her name, but I can't say it. It's the same daughter. It's the same name that I guess the name was. She was going to be named. or Susie, somebody in that family. But wow, I can't. My boys Javier has been helping me since you were since I had you, Anthony. I had a dream. I was in this when I was married to Frank at the time, and I had a dream. I was in this garage, and this garage, I had a dream. I had no idea it was this house that I soon now it's your uncle. Now he's your uncle. And I was with somebody, but it wasn't with Frank. And I was in the right place at the right time. I felt comfortable. I felt like I know these people, but I didn't know who these people really were. Like deep down inside, I just know that I was there. I was there. I was ass projecting into the future. So now I know that I could do this. So I'm there. And I'm watching it. Now I'm watching it again as an adult. I'm like, holy shit. Those people committed murder. And they're trying to cover it up like nothing ever happened. How? I love Camaros. So it was a car thing. That's how the car came to me. Yeah. It all connects. It all connects. You'll see it all connects. But I will not be here in person when you see this video. This video is going to be for my grandkids. Because I know that there's more, and I don't want to be here. There's earth. There's water. There's the animals. Now, if you're good in this realm, you will move on to another place, like another place where you can go freely, but you have to be truthful. It's so weird, but you have to be truthful because science doesn't lie. Science is there, so I think that would make sense. It's like cheese. It's like a lot. Well, I think that's neat.
I'm Thomas, a dedicated psychic advisor.
Let's do this one.
For this week only, you can get NFL Sunday tickets starting at just $89. So, you don't have to...
Indian territory. During their removal, countless died from exposure, disease, and starvation. Their unnecessary deaths are now seen as a near-genocidal event, and the route they walked and died upon is forevermore known as the Trail of Tears. The 5 civilized tribes refers to the major Native American nations that originally lived in America's Deep South. These were the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Muskegee Creek, and Seminole tribes. In the early days of European colonization, tensions between the Europeans and the merciless Indians, as they were called, were high. The Native Americans understandably fought hard to keep their land, which the invaders didn't particularly like, as they felt they were entitled to it. Later, President George Washington deemed American natives as biologically equal, but with an inferior society. He encouraged the process of civilization that Thomas Jefferson continued in his tenure. What followed was some tribes assimilating somewhat into European culture, with cross-cultural marriages even taking place in some instances, although, more often than not, this was forced assimilation and erasure of their natural culture in order to avoid more deaths at the hands of European Americans. The 5 tribes we've already mentioned were the ones to do this. converting to Christianity and developing centralized governments, English literacy, written constitutions, and even owned their own African American slaves like the white colonizers. This uneasy peace was maintained until the white Americans kicked things up a notch. It wasn't sufficient that they had invaded another culture's territory and brought diseases that ran rampant. They now decided they deserved all the land for themselves as their settlements grew and people became greedier. Even the 5 tribes who had shown a willingness to integrate with the European Americans became victims of their desire to own everything. In 1829, Andrew Jackson became president. He had been a strong proponent for removal of Native Americans for at least a decade already, and now that he was in power, he was determined to accomplish this goal. And he didn't waste any time. On May 28, 1830, less than a year into his presidency, Jackson signed what was called the Indian Removal Act. The act allowed Jackson to negotiate with the tribes for their removal to land the European Americans had decided was more appropriate for them, west of the Mississippi River. In other words, the settlers wanted to expand and weren't going to let the native citizens of America get in their way. The act removed any claim the Native Americans had to their own
Keep
land
voting,
and
look at that.
supported
That's what
relocation
happens.
funded by the U.S. government. And although the law stated that President couldn't move the tribes without a mutually agreed treaty, Jackson was not about to let that stand in his way should negotiations fail. Jackson continued to somewhat work with tribal leaders to negotiate their removal west, but history does not look favorably upon his treatment of Native American tribes and his aggressive pursuit of their removal. The first treaty was signed that first year with the Choctaw tribe after years of land loss and hardships for them. Their feelings can be summed up by their leader, George W. Hawkins, who wrote, "We as Choctaws rather chose to suffer and be free than live under the degrading influence of laws which our voice could not be heard in their formation." The Choctaw tribe were the first victims of the Trail of Tears. Between 1821 and 1833, all but approximately 5,000 to 6,000 Choctaw had been moved to the west. During their removal, they endured freezing temperatures, flooded rivers, and extreme food shortages. One group was completely lost in the Lake Providence swamps, while those who completed the journey experienced heavy losses of their family and friends along the way. All in all, it's predicted anywhere between 2,500 and 6,000 Choctaw tribe members died on the Trail of Tears from disease and mishaps along the way, prompting one chief to refer to the experience as a trail of tears and death. Those who remained endured no better, victim to frequent harassment, intimidation, destruction of their properties, and, in some cases, murdered by the European Americans who resented their
my
presence.
kids are taken away from me.
Although
because
the
I'm
7
speaking out.
chiefs of the Seminole tribe had signed a treaty agreeing to
the
move
teacher.
west, upon returning home from scouting the land, most immediately renounced the statement, claiming they had been forced into signing. Given the general attitude of Jackson and his government, this is most likely true. What followed was nearly 7 years of fighting, starting in 1835 and ending in 1842. It was the longest and most costly of all the Indian conflicts. Can't say we feel too sorry for the U.S. government there. As the Seminole resisted relocation, Florida and the U.S. government sent troops and equipment to help the army force the tribe over the river. They were successful, and it's predicted they forcibly relocated somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 Seminole tribespeople. The number of Seminole who died in the war is uncertain, but it's likely between 700 to 1,000 members of the tribe. Around 500 Seminoles did escape to the Everglades, whom the government, after much fighting, left in peace, realizing they would not be able to subjugate them easily because of the terrain and climate of the region. They remain the only federally recognized tribe which never signed a peace treaty with the U.S. The Muskogee Creek tribe.
Then I keep doing it.
The Health and Wellness Company.
This lovely lady is Jameson by Aesthetica in the color Icy Shadow. She's a
I had been working with the U.S. government and Andrew Jackson before his inauguration as president. Although the Muskogee signed a treaty with the U.S. government, the Treaty of Cassetta in 1832, whites moved into their territory before everything was settled, and land speculators deliberately defrauded and stole from the lands of the Muskogee Creeks. By 1836, there was an uprising from the tribespeople protecting their land from the fraudulent and invasive practices of the whites. The uprising ended abruptly when soldiers began rounding up Creek people and forcibly extracting them to the Indian Territory of Fort Gibson. Over the next year, more than 15,000 Muskegee Creeks were forced from their homes with nothing more than the clothes they were wearing. With the army in tow, they made their way along the 750-mile route, now known as the Creek Trail of Tears. It's estimated over 3,500 men, women, and children died on the journey. And that's not to mention those that were forced into concentration camps for their safety, but who actually found themselves raped, enslaved, and murdered. Overall, some numbers estimating the total Creek Trail of Tears death toll go up as high as 8,000, more than half of the tribe's entire
They don't know
number.
where they came from.
The Chickasaw tribe was the only one to hold out for financial compensation from the U.S. government.
Ancestors
They
are
signed
after
the
them,
Treaty
too.
of Pontotoc Creek in 1832, but held out until 1837 for their agreed-upon $3 million. Unsurprisingly, they didn't receive this money until nearly 30 years later, despite their removal beginning in 1837. In the meantime, they negotiated with the Choctaw tribe, eventually paying them $530,000 for access to parts of their Indian territory. Once they agreed, the Chickasaw gathered at Tennessee with their belongings and African-American slaves to cross the Mississippi River to their new homes along the Trail of Tears. Of the 3,100 who took part in the first movement, 500 died from dysentery and smallpox. By the end of their removals, over 3,500 had died. It wasn't until the 20th century that they were once again federally recognized as an independent government. Although approximately 2,000 Cherokee had relocated voluntarily to Indian Territory, this wasn't sufficient or fast enough for the U.S. government, and by 1838, they stepped in to forcibly remove other members of the tribe. It was a 1,000-mile walk from the homes of the approximately 13,000 Cherokee tribespeople to their newly provided Indian Territory during an extremely harsh winter. On the way, their numbers quickly began to fall, as many died of disease, malnutrition, and exposure. One of the most tragic moments for the tribe came when they reached Berry's Ferry, a ferry they needed to cross the Ohio River. The journey usually cost around 12 cents. The Cherokee tribe members were charged $1 each. Many died huddled under the mantle rock, waiting for the ferry to allow them to cross. A volunteer soldier even wrote of their removal, "I fought through the American Civil War and have seen men shot to pieces and slaughtered by thousands, but the Cherokee removal was the cruelest work I ever knew." Approximately 4,000 Cherokee died on the Trail of Tears, almost a third of their total number. How European Americans treated Native Americans during their years of expansion and since has long been looked upon with disapproval and disgust, but few outside know the true horrors of the Trail of Tears and the unfathomable circumstances of the tribe's route to their new homes that resulted in a near genocide of the Native American people.
It's like a volcano ready to fucking explode. God damn. But they certainly are preventing. Alright boys, I'll see you boys in a bit. Anyways, these are my notes I left you, my books. I hope they don't get thrown away or burned because they are written on. The knot's very firm. 41 and 14 are going to be key too, and also key. Glory hole. Alright my boys, I'll see you boys in a bit.